Mack Thompson. I went to Marshall High School all the way through grade school, all the way through graduating. Graduated in 1994. Attended Lincoln Trail College here in Robinson from 94 to 96. Then I went to Eastern Illinois University to get my teaching degree from 96 to 1999. I have two master's degrees, one from the University of Illinois at Springfield in sports management, and I have another one from Eastern Illinois University in educational administration.
I know you coached a little bit of junior high basketball here at Robinson, but tell me the process of becoming the varsity basketball coach.
Coach Kaufman, that was the previous coach, he resigned in April or May of 2011. I'd been here for 5 years as the junior high coach. Before that, I spent 4 years at Lincoln Land Community College as a junior college assistant, and then I was a varsity coach down at Sisney High School 2 years prior to that. So I had some pretty good experience in regards to coaching high school basketball and coaching at the collegiate level. So, I mean, it was a pretty, I don't want to say easy process because it never is easy when you're hiring a head coach. But I felt pretty confident in the amount of hours and time that I put into the junior high program and pretty much the youth program from kindergarten through 8th grade. Showed how much I cared about, the basketball in the community. So I felt, pretty confident, in my resume to be able to take over, and, they gave me that opportunity in June of 2011, and I've been here ever since.
How do you handle teaching PE at the middle school, coaching varsity basketball here at Robinson, and coaching your son Duke, who's now a freshman?
Well, I've done the PE at the middle school for 15 years now, and we've got a great staff over there. I co-teach with Mrs. Bonnell, and she's always excellent during basketball season of, taking over some extra duties when she knows that I have some basketball things that, I may need to attend to here and there. Coaching varsity basketball and coaching my son Duke, I've always kind of held him to a little bit higher standard coaching basketball is just something I love to do, and I pretty much run our K through 12 program. So I've coached him and his buddies that are now freshmen from about first grade on up, it's really been a pretty good smooth transition, even though it's been really weird this year with not being able to have practices, but having practices and then having some weight room time and then maybe some open gyms, and then they got shut down, and it's just been a really, really odd year. But it's been kind of nice to have him around a little bit more. Usually he was just here, just kind of that little kid that shut around on the sides. Well, now he's a kid that's actually going through our weight program and, was actually going through practices with us before we got shut down. And so that was really a lot of fun for me because it's, I just get to spend a little extra time with him.
What is the type of success that Robinson basketball has had the last few years?
Well, it depends on how you define success. If you look at winning percentage, our winning percentage hasn't been probably near what we would like for it to be. But if you look at our strength of schedule, there's probably not very many teams in 2A basketball that play the strength of schedule that we do. We have multiple 4A, 3A teams on our schedule, very few 1A teams, and if we do have 1A teams, they're really good 1A teams. And then obviously our 2A schedule's pretty stacked as well. We play over in the Terre Haute tournament at Christmas time, and it's got some 4A schools, and our strength of schedule is extremely tough, and we've always competed in those games. We've had very few games where we just didn't look like we belonged, and I think it's made us a tough outcome regional time. And we'll go in with 10 or 11 wins playing a team that's got 22 wins, and it'll be nip and tuck all the way down to the end. And that's a testament to our schedule. And to be honest with you, I think I like challenging the boys in regards to, hey, we've got another tough opponent coming up in Evansville Harrison, and we got to be ready to go. And it just, it kind of gets them ready for life in regards to always having tough challenges, ahead. And, not having a bunch of, easy games we know we're going to win by 20 or 30. So I think it's been really good for the kids.
Being the head coach here at Robinson, what are some of the favorite teams that you have coached?
I would say the two that probably stand out would be the 2012-13 team. A lot of that was the Terre Haute tournament. It was our first year in it, and we made it to the championship game. We'd upset 4A Terre Haute South in the first round, 4A Terre Haute North in the second round, and then 3A Northview in the third round, and then played number one ranked Rockville. They were a 1A school, but they had a couple 6-7 kids that were really good, and they beat us in the championship. That was a great year for us. We went 25-5. And then probably the next year that really stands out is our 16-17 team. I mean, we went 20-11. We had some injuries there at one point. That was when we had Dylan Dirks, Ethan White, Joey Wright were our seniors. And we had a great game in the sectional championship against Mount Carmel down at West Frankfort. Ended up losing by 5, and Mount Carmel that year made it to second in state, and got beat by Chicago Orr there in state. So, to look at that and realize how close we possibly could have been to Peoria, like I said, we're 5 points away from being with Mount Carmel, and they got second. So, that was a pretty good year for us. It's our biggest rival, just me being from Marshall and being in the same conference. I'd probably have to go with Marshall. We've had some pretty good competitions over the years, and they've had some pretty good teams these last 10 years, and we've had some pretty good teams. And the games always seem to be pretty close. They always seem to bring the best out of my guys, and it seems to bring the best out of the Marshall guys. So I would say if I had to pinpoint one, I would say Marshall.
Describe what it meant to you as a coach to coach Braden Childress.
Oh, Chili was one of those kids that extremely athletic. Didn't really say a whole lot. But let most of his leadership stuff happen just by how hard he played. He went from being more of a shooter in junior high and early high school to where he got really strong and his athleticism really took off, and we kind of needed him to be more of a guy that could score around the basket, and he kind of took that role on his junior year, but really his senior year. I mean, he was a lot of times pretty unstoppable around the basket. When he was balanced and under control, and I mean, he was a hard guard for a lot of people, and you knew what you were going to get with Braden. He was going to come play hard, and was always a pretty good teammate.
Challenges that you face as a coach while COVID has been here?
I would say our biggest challenge, and pretty much any coach's biggest challenge, is just trying to keep the optimism high, because you just never know what's going on. You never know what, if we're going to be able to practice, if we're going to be able to scrimmage, what new rules we're going to have. Taking guys' temperatures, recording them, wearing masks. At one point we had pretty much our whole basketball team quarantined for 14 days. But luckily that was the only time we've really had that issue. But just trying to fight through all that and just try to keep the guys' hopes up that we are going to have a season, especially for our seniors. And I don't know where we're going to be at with that. If we can get those guys 10 to 14 games in, and at this point we're just happy to take anything, and hope the IHSA and IDPH can kind of come to an agreement and provide us the opportunity to let these kids play.
Favorite part about being involved in this Robinson community?
The people here are great. I run the basketball program, like I said, from K through 12, and always have people willing to help out, and having 3 boys that have, I've got a freshman, a 4th grader, and a 3rd grader. People are always great about helping and assisting. As crazy as my schedule is, needing to get kids here and there, obviously my wife does a great job, but other people are always willing to help out, and they don't ask for anything in return. Anytime we need sponsors for anything, I mean, I've got people beating down our door saying, hey, we'd love to help sponsor the basketball team, and it's wonderful, and I really appreciate that.
Upcoming seasons for Robinson basketball, what's it looking like?
I think it's looking extremely promising. I mean, we've got, obviously, hopefully we have a year this year, but looking beyond this year because we're not knowing what we have. We got a good core coming back next year. We got some good young guys. We got some guys with some experience that are going to be coming back. Even with all this COVID stuff, not knowing if we're going to have a season, our weight room attendance numbers are outstanding. I mean, we're at 100% pretty much every day. Or guys are messaging me saying, "Coach, I don't feel good today, so I'm going to stay home. So in case I, have anything, I don't want to spread it to guys." So I mean, our buy-in in the weight room has been great, and that just shows that their dedication and commitment. And our youth levels are promising, and I think we got some really, really good basketball on the horizon.
Favorite game to coach in so far?
I would have to say by far the 2012 second round game of the Pizza Hut Classic when we played Terre Haute North. Aaron Seiler dropped 39 points on them, and that place was absolutely rocking. And we won by, I don't know, 3 or 5. I can't remember what it was, but that is one of those games that even to this day, anytime I run into somebody from Terre Haute, they bring that one up. They're like, "Man, I was there and that was great. That was a wonderful atmosphere." So I would have to say that would be my number one if I had to choose one.
Besides Robinson's gym here, what is your favorite gym to coach?
I'd have to say Effingham St. Anthony, because I feel like I play just as many home games there every year as I do at my own gym. I mean, we start Thanksgiving time with 4 games, and then every other year play St. Anthony there, regular season, and then you just never know with postseason stuff, where that's going to fall in. The people there at St. Anthony are great. The hospitality's great. I love visiting with the bench personnel, during the games, and I really, really enjoy coaching at St. Anthony.
Biggest role model?
I would say in the coaching profession and just, friendship in general. Chad Jones, the head coach at Lincoln Land Community College. I coached with him from 02 to 06. He's just a year older than me. Him and I have a lot of the same coaching philosophies. A lot of times when I have questions, I'll shoot them off of him. I have multiple guys that I look up to that I will bounce things off of. I mean, I'm not afraid to contact, any of the coaches that I'm good friends with to bounce things off of. But if I had to pinpoint one, I'd say Coach Jones had made a big impact on me in my coaching career.
What has coaching done to change your life?
I have met so many wonderful people through coaching. Other coaches, coaching against other players. You'd be surprised how many opposing players that I'm still friends with. I'll message with them on Facebook or whatever. Coaching junior college, I was able to go out and scout and recruit different players from different communities. It's really, opened my eyes to all sorts of different type of people. I've got my whole friend base is pretty much, from coaching and from sports in general. And that's why I keep telling people about, taking this opportunity away from our seniors and our kids playing high school sports. That's been such a big part of my life. And I just hate the fact that we're taking it away from them, because those are some of the best memories I have. And, I love the relationships with the kids. That's, coaching is what I love to do. My best friend growing up was Matt Staley. He was the same age as me growing up in Marshall. It's one of those that he lives in the Indianapolis area now, and we don't talk near as much as we'd like to, but it's one of those things though that when we get together, it's almost like we haven't skipped a beat. And that's kind of when that, hey, that's your best friend. And I still give the shirt off my back for him for anything. But I do have several, really good friends that I trust, that I can talk to. My assistant coaches, Scott Rawlings, Mick Henry, Jason Kiesling, they're all great guys that if I have an issue, I definitely I'm not afraid to contact them. They're good people. And Coach Jones at Lincoln Land also is another one that I would consider a really good friend.
Something about you that not a lot of people know.
I have the highest field goal percentage at Fog Island Fieldhouse at Kansas University. I'm officially 2 for 2 on Fog Island Fieldhouse on their floor. At Lincoln Land, we went there twice to practice when we went out to Hutchinson, Kansas, and both times I hit a layup. So I can officially say that I'm 2 for 2 at Fog Island Fieldhouse.
What is one thing that you would like to talk to the viewers about that we didn't mention?
The support of my family. My wife, Brandy, her and the boys, Duke, Dag, and Deke, they a lot of times will get the brunt of my bad days and good days, but they also get, they get time taken away from family time because I've got basketball stuff to do. My boys are getting old enough now, with Duke being a freshman and the others being in 3rd and 4th, that I'm coaching them, and so they're going with me a lot more. But she does a great job of managing the house, and 99% of my life I leave up to her and do. I'm cool with however the curtains need to look or this or that, but when it comes to the basketball side of it, that's kind of my thing, but she takes care of the other 99%, and she does a fabulous job with that.
Mack Thompson, entering his 11th year as Robinson head basketball coach. Mack, thank you for sharing your story.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Tyler.